A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ivana Smith. I need you to stop whatever you are doing right now, because in the last few hours, the world changed. At approximately 3 a.m. Eastern Time today, Saturday, February 28th, 2026, President Donald Trump posted an 8-minute video on Truth Social from Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. A dark blue curtain behind him. No podium, no press, just a camera, and a president announcing something that no American president has announced in more than 2 decades. He said these words: "A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. The United States is now at war with Iran. We are going to walk through exactly what Trump said, word by word, what is happening on the ground right now, what Iran has done in response, and what this means for the next 24 hours. No panic, no spin, just the facts as they are, right now as of this moment." Trump's statement was 8 minutes long. Here is what he said, broken down clearly. He opened by stating the objective directly. He said the goal of the operation is to defend the American people by eliminating what he called imminent threats from the Iranian regime. He described the Iranian regime as, in his words, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. He then went back through the history. He said that after last June's strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, what the U.S. called Operation Midnight Hammer, the United States warned Iran never to rebuild its nuclear program. He said the U.S. tried repeatedly to negotiate a deal. He said Iran was given every opportunity to step back. He said, in his words, "We tried, they wanted to, then they didn't. They wanted to, they didn't. They just wanted to do evil." He said Iran rejected every single opportunity. Then Trump laid out what the operation will do. He said the U.S. will destroy Iran's missile program. He said the U.S. will, in his words, raise their missile industry to the ground. He said the U.S. will destroy Iran's navy. He said Iran will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. He acknowledged directly that American lives may be at risk. He said the administration is taking every possible step to minimize risk to U.S. personnel, but he warned, and I quote closely here, that the lives of courageous American heroes may be lost and we may have casualties. Then, Trump addressed Iran's military directly. He told members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the armed forces and police forces to lay down their weapons. He promised full immunity, what he called complete immunity, to anyone who surrenders. And he said the alternative to surrendering is, in his words, certain death. Finally, Trump addressed the Iranian people. He told them their hour of freedom is at hand. He told them to stay in shelters, stay home, stay off the streets. He said bombs will be falling everywhere. And he told them, when the operation is finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. Those are the words of the President of the United States, as of tonight. Now let's talk about what reporters and news agencies are confirming from the ground right now, because this is a fast-moving situation, and we want to be careful to separate confirmed reports from speculation. Here is what multiple major news organizations, NPR, NBC News, CBS News, Al Jazeera, the Associated Press, and the Times of Israel are reporting as of this hour. The United States and Israel launched joint strikes on Iran. A U.S. official confirmed to Reuters that American forces attacked Iran by air and by sea. The first apparent strike occurred near the offices of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in Tehran. Iranian state television reported explosions and showed footage of smoke rising over the capital. Beyond Tehran, strikes have reportedly hit the cities of Isfahan, Qom, Karaj, and Kermanshah. These are not random targets. Isfahan and Qom are home to nuclear-related facilities. These are the same sites that were targeted, partially, during last June's 1-2 day war. Israel's role. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz described the operation as a preemptive strike aimed at removing threats against Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a statement saying that Israel and the United States had, in his words, embarked on an operation to remove the existential threat posed by Iran. He thanked Trump for what he called Historic leadership. Iran's airspace has been closed. The internet inside Iran has been almost completely shut down, the monitoring organization. NetBlocks reported that Iran's national connectivity dropped to approximately 4% of normal levels. Iran has gone dark. Air raid sirens sounded across Israel at approximately 8:15 a.m. local time. Israel declared a nationwide 48-hour state of emergency. Israel closed its airspace to all civilian passenger flights, and the Israeli Defense Forces confirmed that missiles were launched from Iran toward Israel and that defense systems were actively working to intercept them. A second wave of Iranian missiles toward Israel was confirmed by the IDF. The U.S. Embassy in Bahrain issued an emergency security alert warning American citizens of an imminent drone and missile attack in Bahrain, urging everyone to shelter in place immediately. Major airlines, including Germany's Lufthansa and the Netherlands' KLM, have suspended all flights to Tel Aviv, Beirut, and Oman through at least March 7th. Iran has responded. Here is what Iranian officials and state media have said. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, announced through the semi-official Tasnim news agency that it has begun what it called the first broad wave of missile and drone attacks toward the occupied land. That is Iran's reference to Israel. A hardline Iranian parliamentarian, Ala Eddin Borujerdi, said in an interview with Iranian state television that Iran will have no red lines in its response. He said Iran will use, in his words, all of our capacities. He also said, our rightful and necessary response, especially to the Zionist regime, will be delivered. One senior Middle East diplomat who has direct knowledge of the recent talks between Iran and the U.S. told a news outlet, yet again, when negotiations get close to success. The quote was cut off there, suggesting the source was not able or willing to finish the sentence on record. Iranian state media has not confirmed specific casualty numbers. The internet blackout inside Iran makes independent verification extremely difficult at this hour. This question matters enormously because just 48 hours ago, both sides were still talking. As we covered on this channel Thursday, the third round of indirect nuclear talks between the U.S. and Iran held in Geneva, Switzerland, mediated by Oman, ended without a deal. But both sides described the talks in cautiously optimistic terms afterward. Technical level discussions were reportedly scheduled for Vienna next week. So what happened in the 48 hours between cautiously optimistic and major combat operations? Here is what we know from reporting. The Trump administration had made clear for weeks that its patience was running out. After the Geneva talks, Secretary of State Marco Rubio called Iran's refusal to discuss its ballistic missile program a big problem. The White House said, after the previous round of talks, that Iran was not addressing core American demands. NBC News reported that there is no publicly available evidence that Iran made major progress in reviving its nuclear program since last June's strikes, including whether it resumed significant uranium enrichment. The Trump administration has not specifically accused Iran of renewing enrichment work. But satellite imagery does show new construction activity at two of the bomb sites, suggesting Iran was assessing and potentially recovering material there. The Associated Press noted that Iran has blocked IAEA international inspectors from visiting the bombed nuclear site since last June. The IAEA has been relying on commercial satellite imagery, not on-the-ground inspectors, to monitor what is happening there. Iran maintained it has the right to enrich uranium. It repeatedly refused to discuss its missile program at the nuclear talks table. And after the Geneva talks ended Thursday, the window that remained open closed. A few other significant voices emerged in the hours since Trump's announcement. Reza Pahlavi, the U.S.-based son of Iran's last Shah, deposed in the 1979 Islamic Revolution, posted on social media urging Iranians to reclaim their nation. He wrote, "Moments of destiny lie ahead of us." He also addressed Iran's military and security forces directly, urging them to defend the Iranian people rather than the regime. He wrote, "Join the people and help bring about a stable and secure transition. Otherwise, you will go down with Khamenei's sinking ship." And he issued a message to Trump, asking him to exercise the utmost caution to preserve the lives of civilians. Israel's Defense Minister Katz said the operation was aimed at neutralizing threats against Israel, and warned that a missile and drone attack against the state of Israel and its civilian population is expected in the immediate future. That warning proved accurate within hours. The U.S. Embassy in Israel reportedly told embassy staffers, If you want to leave Israel, do so today. Here is where things stand right now as of this broadcast. The United States and Israel have launched joint strikes on Iran. Trump confirmed major combat operations are underway. Targets include Tehran, Isfahan, Karaj, and Kermanshah. Iran has retaliated with missiles and drones toward Israel. Israel has declared a 8-hour state of emergency and closed its airspace. Iran's internet is essentially down. Airlines are diverting flights across the region. U.S. embassies in the region are issuing emergency shelter-in-place alerts. This is the beginning of something. Where it goes from here depends on decisions being made in the next hours in Washington, in Tehran, in Jerusalem, and in capitals around the world. We do not know yet how large this operation is, how long it will last, or what Iran's full retaliation will look like. We do not know yet whether other countries will be drawn in. We do not know the casualty numbers. We do not know what comes after. What we do know is that the world tonight is different from the world it was yesterday. We are going to stay on this story. Every significant development, we will bring it to you here, as clearly and as calmly as we can. I'm Ivana Smith. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next update.